There is a place in Peru where a single stone block weighs more than a fully loaded Boeing 747, where hundreds of massive boulders, each cut into a completely unique and irregular shape, lock together so perfectly that you cannot slide a single piece of paper between them, where no mortar was used, no cement, no glue of any kind, and yet the walls have stood for centuries through some of the most powerful earthquakes ever recorded on this planet. Modern engineers have studied this place for decades now. They have measured it, scanned it with ground-penetrating radar, argued about it in academic journals, and walked away shaking their heads in absolute disbelief. Because even today, with all the technology we possess, we still cannot fully explain how it was built.
What is Sacsayhuaman? Sacsayhuaman is a massive walled complex built by the Inca civilization, initiated under the reign of Emperor Pachacuti in the 15th century. The name comes from the Quechua language and roughly translates to satisfied falcon. Spanish conquistadors who arrived in the 16th century described it as one of the most extraordinary structures they had ever encountered in their lives, and these were men who had seen the great cathedrals and fortresses of Europe. Its most famous feature is a series of 3 massive zigzag terraced walls stretching over 300 meters in length, rising to heights of nearly 9 meters. These walls are constructed from enormous, irregular, interlocking limestone and andesite blocks that together create one of the most baffling construction achievements in all of recorded human history.
The stones that defy explanation. The largest single block at Sacsayhuaman stands roughly 8.5 meters tall and weighs an estimated 200 metric tons. We could move that stone today with modern cranes, but could we cut it with the precision the Inca achieved? Could we shape it into a perfectly unique irregular polygon and then fit it seamlessly against dozens of other uniquely shaped stones, with no gaps, no mortar, and absolutely no room for error? That is the part that stops engineers cold. Every single stone at Sacsayhuaman is a different shape. There are no uniform rectangular blocks anywhere in the structure. The stones are polygonal. Some have 5 sides, some have 12, some have angles and curves that appear almost random from a distance. And yet every one fits against its neighbors with extraordinary tightness. Researchers have confirmed that in many places across the walls, not even a sheet of paper can be inserted between 2 adjacent stones. The precision is not just impressive, it is, by the standards of the tools believed to have been available at the time, essentially impossible to explain.
The transportation problem. The cutting is only half the mystery. The nearest quarry is located several miles away, across deep valleys and steep Andean mountain slopes at high altitude. The Inca had no wheeled vehicles. They had no horses, no oxen, no large domesticated animals capable of bearing such enormous loads. They had ropes made from plant fiber, wooden sledges, thousands of human hands, and the brutal Andean terrain working against them at every single step of the journey. Spanish chroniclers describe thousands of workers pulling stones with ropes, using earthen ramps and wooden rollers to inch the blocks forward. Estimates suggest that moving a single large stone required coordinated teams of between several hundred and several thousand workers, depending on the weight of the block. The entire construction of Sacsayhuaman is believed to have involved more than 20,000 laborers working over a period of approximately 100 years.
Modern experimental archaeologists have attempted to replicate these methods with volunteers and careful documentation. What they consistently found is that while it is theoretically possible to move large stones using ropes and human manpower alone, the logistics become incomprehensibly complex as the weight increases. Moving a 200-ton block across steep mountain terrain without a single wheel
and then fitting it with millimeter-level precision against stones already locked into place? No modern team has successfully replicated that entire process from quarry to finished wall. The earthquake mystery. Cusco sits in one of the most seismically active regions of South America. Over 5 centuries, powerful earthquakes have repeatedly struck the city and caused massive, widespread destruction. Colonial buildings constructed by the Spanish, many using the very stones they dismantled and removed from Sacsayhuaman, have crumbled and collapsed under seismic stress time and again. The original Inca walls of Sacsayhuaman have not. Through every earthquake that leveled European-style construction around them, the ancient polygonal walls have remained standing. Engineers believe the secret lies in the irregular interlocking geometry. Because no 2 blocks share the same shape and each fits tightly against its neighbors from multiple angles at once, the walls shift slightly during a tremor and then resettle rather than fracturing apart. The Inca built a self-stabilizing, mortar-free seismic resistance system that modern architects are only now beginning to fully understand and appreciate.
Who really built it? The accepted historical answer is the Inca. Good archaeological evidence supports this. Tools, pottery, and Inca administrative records all point to their direct involvement. But excavations beneath and around Sacsayhuaman have also uncovered evidence of the earlier Quilque culture, who occupied the Cusco Valley for centuries before the Inca rose to regional power. Some portions of the stonework appear to predate the Inca by hundreds of years, suggesting this hilltop was considered sacred long before Pachacuti ordered the grand construction we see today. The Inca themselves, in their oral traditions, did not always claim to have built everything from scratch. They spoke of inheriting ancient sacred sites from builders whose abilities surpassed their own. Whether that refers to a forgotten pre-Inca civilization or simply mythological storytelling is a question that archaeology has not yet definitively resolved. Engineers who visit Sacsayhuaman consistently describe the very same experience. You walk up to one of these walls, look at the massive stones stacked high above you, and something in your mind simply refuses to accept what your eyes are seeing. The sheer weight, the impossible precision, the total absence of mortar. It all adds up to something that genuinely should not exist, given what we believe about the capabilities of people living in the 15th century. And yet, there it stands, high in the Andes, at 3,700 meters above sea level, built from stones heavier than passenger jets, fitted together without a single drop of glue, surviving every earthquake thrown at it for 500 years, and waiting patiently for someone to finally figure out exactly how it was done. We are still working on that answer. The stones, as always, are not saying.